आ गया मेरा रेफर और यहाँ से डायरेक्ट इस पर क्लिक करेंगे, ओपन करेंगे, अभी सीधे प्ले स्टोर में चला जाएगा।
Financial service providers and regulators have significantly cut their costs and expanded their reach with digitization. They don't need to operate out of a physical branch, and they can process transactions faster. The onboarding process too has been streamlined with eKYCs and other smart initiatives. But the picture changes color when you move from the larger institutions to the last mile. The seen and the unseen costs of digital finance are high for marginalized groups and the agents who serve them. In this episode, we will cover a range of stories from both sides to show how more needs to be done if our services are meant to be truly people-centered and inclusive. The cost of smartphones has reduced over time, but even the cheapest models are not cheaper than $50, and their quality is often questionable, leaving people from lower income groups with no real choice. They have to find a way to buy big or upgrade their phones regularly when some of them are already struggling to make ends meet. Lakshman is a 50-year-old farmer in Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh. He lost his device a few months ago and he can't afford a new one.
और हम लोग बहुत गरीब परिवार के हैं और दुकान पर जाते हैं बाज़ार मार्केट में, तो सामान जैसे कपड़ा हो, नमक हो, तेल हो और सब व्यवस्था सामान है, घर की खर्चा कुछ तो नगद ले लेते हैं और कुछ उधार ले लेते हैं.
Many people share their phones with their family members to cut costs and get by, but digital finance is designed for individual users, creating a new range of problems that we have covered in our episode on shared use. But here is a small story to illustrate our point. Ragini lives in Araku, Andhra Pradesh. She had to give her smartphone to her brother because some of his passengers pay digitally. He's an auto driver and he can't afford to lose business. They can't share the device anymore. A significant portion of the underbanked population anyway uses feature phones, and USSD is extremely popular in Uganda and Bangladesh, but it is being phased out in other countries like Indonesia, indirectly pushing people towards internet-based services when data is an unresolved challenge. Most users can only afford a small package for broadband that doesn't last long, particularly if you are sharing your phone with others. The quality of the connection is also unstable. There are a few schemes to get data at a cheaper rate, but they are at odds with the true spirit of financial inclusion. For example, in Uganda, some women from the Village Savings and Loan Association were given free phones and SIMs to use digital finance, but the internet charges started mounting up in 3 weeks. They had to watch ads and earn points on the service provider's app to top up their phones without a clear idea of how this affected their privacy. We need equal access to quality data if digital finance must be truly inclusive. Digital finance also makes greater demands on your time when you live in rural or remote areas. Alex took a day off from his farm to get to the service center in Mbale, Uganda, only to be turned away because the internet was down. He would have to return another time to set up his mobile money account. These opportunity costs are so high for some people like Ali that they don't even consider trying to register for digital finance. Ali is a 49-year-old daily wage worker in Pune, Maharashtra. His account was closed 20 years ago, but he hasn't tried reopening it because he's not sure of the time involved. It is a trade-off he's not ready to make. The waiting time can be excruciatingly long when the service centers are few and far between, but most people learn to read the agent's schedule and get their work done when the center is less busy. Zaid is a young businessman in Bangladesh. He went to open his account at noon when he knew the service center would be relatively quiet. The spread of digital finance relies on a vast network of agents, and they too pay from their pockets to set up shop. They are rarely reimbursed for all the expenses they incur to operate in rural and remote areas. The quality of their equipment varies depending on their spending capacity. There is no set standard, which can again cause errors, delays, and drop-offs for the end user. Roving agents are also vulnerable to health problems as they work in the heat, through bad weather, and pollution. Many agents are available even after business hours to help their customers. Arif's house is right next to his shop, and he opens shutters whenever someone calls on him with a query or a technical problem. But he and others like him are not paid for the extra work they do. Instead, they are employed on a commission basis when the scope of growth is limited in rural and remote areas. They try to recover their losses and sustain themselves by charging a small premium over the recommended fees, but that can leave their customers feeling cheated. High, low, or recurring, whatever the cost features may be, transparency is key. Digital financial services used to be free in Indonesia, but the financial sector quietly introduced a 0.3 fee per transaction for micro merchants in July 2023. There was a severe backlash because they operate on thin margins, with the result that the central bank had to step in for damage control. They adjusted the fee to apply only to transactions above 100,000 Indonesian rupiah. It is therefore imperative to prioritize costs for both users and intermediaries. But we also can't have a blind race to the bottom. Let's pause and think of the ethics too, because the way to loyalty is not only through people's pockets. You need to win over their hearts too.